This morning, part 3 of The Big Picture, our week-long series on the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. In parts 1 and 2, you watched myself, Kristen Ojanimi, Cindy Baker, and Teal Rintala struggle to adjust to the trail, the elements, and the difficulty of the journey. In part 3, the push to keep going, the adjustments made mentally and physically to find a way, and the ultimate test of being flexible. We got our first glimpses of the sun here at Trappers Lake. It was beautiful. On the second night, we began to thaw out and dry out from our first 2 days on the trail. Perhaps it was so enjoyable because of the tremendous effort it took to get here.
Just getting to the campsite at night after your long, hard day of pushing through and getting there, and you and all your hiking buddies are all feeling the same emotions, happy to get there, relieved, and then just talk about the day.
Day 3 meant another 8 miles, Trappers Lake to Chapel Beach. We decided to push harder today. We'd go 2 miles at a time, short breaks in between. At this point, Teal was hiking in Crocs, unable to put her swollen, blistered feet into her boots.
I'm really glad I brought the Crocs because they were a lifesaver. I never would have guessed that.
We had wraps and bandages. We were limping along, but we remained determined. Our first break landed us at Beaver Creek. The beach here is so beautiful. It marked our halfway point to Munising Falls, and that deserved a bit of reflection on this journey and what it took to get here.
I think it's really wonderful to be able to reflect on who I was on that first hike and all of the things that I experienced on it. I am not the same person that I was when I came on that first hike those years ago. I've changed so completely differently. The views that I see, it's like I'm seeing it out of a totally different lens.
It was here where we also spotted our first social trails. Those are trails people have made on their own, maybe to see a different view or because there's too many people. Either way, for the Park Service and for backpackers, they're causing issues.
Social trails also create problems for people who are hiking and backpacking. It's easier for them to get lost because now a trail wanders this way, that way. Of course, some may dead end, but some do not. They just kind of keep wandering. So we have issues with that, just a lot of resource damage.
It was confusing at times. We crossed paths with a trail crew working to sign this area better. They admitted they did what they could on this day, but needed to regroup and come up with a better plan. For us, the beach was the perfect spot to regroup and push on. We began to get glimpses of the views we had been waiting for. It lightened our spirits. And at the end of the day, we needed that boost. And we welcomed our first sunset at what could be one of the most stunning places on the lakeshore, Chapel Rock. But even in all the beauty, the reality was we were low on cooking fuel. Mine was nearly gone. And Teal, she was hurting.
It just stings.
We came up with a plan to get Teal home. We'd walk her out of the woods to the parking lot in the morning. Cindy's son would take Teal home, bring us fuel, and drive us to the Miners Castle parking lot. It would turn our 11-mile day into 7.
I just love to hike with her. She's just such a wonderful person to share space with, and I feel so bad that her toe was very, very injured, and it was really hard to see her go. We've never had somebody leave a hike before, and that was kind of a new feeling.
I'm 50-50, like I feel good to get home, and I'm a little bummed that I'm not gonna totally complete it and do the last day, obviously, but I just don't think it would be smart, obviously, for my physical well-being to do another like 8 miles on my toe. In Crocs.
That night, Kristen decided she wanted to do the full 11 miles as we had planned. She remained determined, and we all loved her for it. And so the next morning, we split up.
I mean, I really like hiking with other people and talking and having somebody else set my pace because I'm not really good at setting my own pace. But also just being by myself was kind of relaxing.
So it was a weird 6-hour window where you were thinking about yourself and your hike and the things that you needed to do, but there was this chatter in the back, kind of like, gosh, I hope she's doing okay. I hope she's making it. I hope she's powering through.
Leaving each other wasn't easy, but staying flexible and supporting one another was huge. And I think it's what made this trip so memorable. We each came away from this hike with completely different accounts of how it went. For me, watching these women hold each other up was so special. It left a mark on my heart that I'll carry with me forever. Tomorrow in part 4, our detour allowed us to see just how drastically the trails in the Chapel area are being impacted. We'll show you, and we talked to the Park Service about plans to get it under control.